Hello there and welcome to my YouTube channel Julie McNeil Crafts, or if you have found me on Sam's channel today on Samantha K, because today is my design team project for the lovely Samantha K, which means I am going to be playing with some luscious MDF. I do always enjoy having a play. I've also had a sneak peek at her next range that is coming out in Hachanda. I will put the details in the description box below because the dates and times of the show have just escaped me, but you are not going to miss it. Honestly, I will be getting my purse out because some yummy stuff coming. Anyway, today I am going to be playing with, I thought I'd make a really nice neutral, florally, romantic sort of card. So I've got this paper pad that I got from in the sale in the works, and I have pulled out these sheets here, and I thought what I would do is just do a little bit of card making today and seeing how we get on with that. So I'm just going to tear this paper to start off with. Oops, this kind of went a bit more torn than I expected, but that's okay, because it just means we'll have a more layered effect. So I'm going to tear all the edges, and then we will get that stuck down and work out what we are doing next. So as I said, I'm really fancying doing some sort of vintage floral thing. I was going to kind of colour up the MDF, but I've actually just pulled out a few Brilliance ink pads, and I was thinking I'm just going to try and keep it in very much neutral tones, because that's not something I have really done before. Now this squintness is going to bother me somewhat, so I'm just going to straighten that up a little bit, and then what I will do is put another paper behind it. So let's have a little, I think this one goes really well, so we'll take a piece of this, and I'm just going to pop that behind there a little bit, and I am going to stick that down onto the card. Okay, so while I was off camera, I have actually, I don't know if you can see that, just stitched round that with my sewing machine. So I've sort of done a double squiggly line with straight, and then I've put a bit of zigzag here and a bit of zigzag there, just for a little bit of extra texture and interest. I am now going to go in with my Victorian Velvet Distress ink, and I am going to just distress around all the edges here. And then I have also got my Tim Holtz brick stencil, which I will just pull out of its packet there, and then let's have a little bit of this sort of coming down into the card a little bit, like so, and then I was going to put a little bit over this side too. Okay, and that'll just be a little bit of a base. And then also, just so that the card isn't overly blank or white in comparison to the paper, I am just going to pull in a little bit of that ink. I'm not going to try not to re-ink, because I do want it quite subtle. I don't want it I don't want it too heavy, but I just want it not to look stark white in comparison to the paper. And then we will have a look at the bits and bobs that I have pulled out and see how we can make the most of the MDF on this particular piece. Okay, so that is the card blank done, and that now is our paper. Okay, and I will get that stuck down, and then I've got a few different flowers and elements ready. I think what I'm going to do though first is I am going to fussy cut out some of those roses that, you know, that just got popped down the side here, just so that we've got some extra elements to play with. So whilst that's drying down there, I'm just going to cut a few of these out. Okay, so I've got a few elements to try and have a play with. I've got some Brilliance ink pads here, which I've not tried with the MDF before, but I think they would look quite nice. And again, it's just to try and give the MDF shades and tones, because I'm actually wanting to try and keep the natural look of it a little bit, which is why I'm not gessoing it first. But I think the sort of natural look of the MDF will go really nice with the vintage colour tones that we're mentioning. But again, I just find it's, if you've got a little bit of highlight, mid-tone and shadow, it will just make things look that little bit more realistic. So that is that colour actually goes really well with that Victorian velvet, so that has worked really well. So just in a few little touches now, I am going to put this Galaxy Gold, and these Brilliance ink pads, actually these are ages old, but they've got such a nice sort of pearlised sheen to them, so it's just adding that little bit of you know, bling and a little bit of shading to that. So I'm not needing to put too much on that, because we've got the difference in tones with the fact that we put stuff on initially. Right, I am now going to try and chop this down a little bit. So I am looking for the thinner areas for me just to snip into this, because I want part of it coming up from the bouquet and part of it coming down this side. So I'm going to cut it up. So there we go. I'm just going to show you the difference there between adding a little bit of shading and having it plain. And I think it does just give an extra depth to it. So let me see, I am wanting to have something along the lines of that. And we've got an extra little leaf here that we can put somewhere. Okay, then I've got some little sort of silk flowers, which I was thinking that we could add as a little bit of texture, then have something like that. Oops. Like so. Yeah, I think something like that could be really pretty. So I'm just going to get my glue while gun. I am waiting for my glue gun to heat up, I'm actually just going to try the Phil Martin glue on the back of the MDF, because I will be able to be a bit more precise with this and I'll not end up with big globules showing through. But then at the same time I'm wanting to put quite a bit of texture down in this bottom corner, so that we have a lovely mixed media feel about the project. So as I said, I'm just waiting for my glue gun to heat up, and we'll try out this Phil. I've not tried the Phil Martin glue with MDF, but you know, you never know unless you try. So let's just go for it and see what happens. So we're going to pop that down there like so. Okay, now I've got some different bits and pieces and goodies. I've got a little bit of like a tulle here, oops, and I'm just going to try and tear it and stretch it so that we've got a little bit more texture going on. I don't want all of those straight edges, so yeah, I really am trying to rip holes in it and stretch it so that we've got a bit more interest going on. I'm going to move that out of the way for the minute. Right, let's see if we've got anything happening here yet. No, oh, we're getting a little bit. It should be ready with us soon, but hopefully I should have enough there to at least sort of stick that down as a start. Okay, I've also got, sorry about the crunching in the camera, I have I've got a little bit of seasely stuff here. So I'll try and spread. So again, I'm just trying to, because I want a really nice, soft, romantic, mixed media feel about this project. So I'm gonna, there we go, that's my glue gun beginning to get a bit on that. Okay, and I am just going to stick that down like so. I always find when you're doing this it looks absolutely dreadful at this point. But don't worry about it, because this is not the finished result. We're putting the main feature piece on the top, and that is what we are going to see. So now I'm going to pop these silk flowers in. I'm getting ready for the big paper rose. So I'm just overlapping. Again, this is more just to be peeking out from that main flower, so that we've got a bit of interest. Keep saying the same thing there, but yeah, just so it looks a bit more natural. Sometimes if you've just cut out a flower and plonked it down, it can look like that. So it kind of looks like it's meant to be a bit more. Now I've got a bit of a gap between my MDF and the embellishment, so I'm going to make sure that this flower comes up here to cover that. I'm going to need to add another glue stick. Okay, so now hopefully if we put this over there, actually I want that further down. So that's the thing, if it's not quite sitting where you want it, you can just alter it. That's not a big problem. Right. I always need two hands when I'm kind of changing a glue stick. I've not quite got the art of, I watch other people and it's like they seem to manage to change their glue stick, you know, with no effort. I seem to like struggle a little bit. Okay. And now I am going to put a big lot of glue on the back of this. And we will get that on, and then I will probably tuck a few more bits and pieces behind this main flower so that I've got it sitting as I want. I want this quite high, and it's got quite a lot to stick to, which is why I'm being incredibly generous with that glue, because I just want it to be able to sort of sit there like so. Okay. I like having that there. I'm not going to put that too 3D because I think it'll take away from the fact that we've got all of this going on here, but it just gives an extra bit of interest having that there. Right, got a few other bits and pieces. I've got these little things here. I'm not sure if I've also got these little things that I've got. These are like your filler flowers. You know when you buy a bouquet of flowers, you've got the flowers that are like really pretty, like the stars of the show, like your roses or your lilies or something like that. And then you've got these tiny ones that sit in amongst it that you barely notice that are there. But you know, you would notice if they weren't there, because these little filler flower thingies make all the difference. So I'm just going to try and get a few of these together and pop them in behind. Oops. Try not to burn my fingers in the process. Okay. It's looking okay. Right, grab the lovely strings that I managed to create with the glue. But as I keep saying, it's just texture, so don't worry about it. It's just added texture, not a problem. Okay. I've got a few more of these. Pop this side. Oops. So I'm putting a bit more glue down there, and then I will make a right mess of this, and I will poke that in there as best I can. Okay, let's separate that out. Oops. It's getting there, and then I think obviously rule of threes, I would probably like some just at this side as well. I'm trying to see what I've just knocked off. Hopefully nothing too important. Okay, I'm also wondering whether I've got some like little thread here, so I'm kind of wondering whether that would look quite nice. It's actually heavier than thread, it's more like a little string. Oops. Okay. There we go. See, I've got this stuff here. I'm just wondering whether that would make, you know, if we did a little thing with it. Losing my words. Thing with it. That's quite impressive English, that, isn't it? Right. Let's have a little see how we get on with that. Oops. I'm just thinking that coming out there could look quite nice as well. Oops, sorry, head and shot. Right. Oops. Okay. And then maybe I will do another little bit just down the bottom here. I think that's quite cute. Okay. And then we'll see what we're going to do next. Oops. Making a right mess here. Having fun though. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Having fun. Right, so I'm doing like 3 loops there, and then I'm just going to secure it by wrapping it round, and then all that working bits will be tucked behind the flower. So I've stuck that down quite well, so I'm just needing to peel that back a little bit. Okay, and then I will shove this in here like so. Thankfully I've got long nails, so I can shove those into the glue, and that's, you know, less damaging than sticking my fingers in there. And there we go. Okay, so let's just move all of this away. Oops. For a moment. Right, now I've got this other MDF piece here, which I was thinking would just kind of finish this off and give it a, oops, give it a sentiment. And again, we're making use of that MDF. So this time I'm going to cover over that completely, so that it stands out. I'm not too worried about having the shades and tones on a sentiment, because again, that's not normally something that you would have that, and it's just going to help it to pop out slightly different from the rest of the card. So I will again get this glue on here, just because because of the nozzle, I can be a lot more precise with this than I could with my glue gun. So I'm thinking for the purposes that I have right now, that might be the best thing for me to do. Okay, let me see, I have got some gems and things which I think would go quite nice, so I'm maybe just going to pop you on fast forward while I stick those. Okay, we are getting there. I'm going to take the same Brilliance ink pad that I have used to colour the MDF, and I am just going to run it down the edge of the card a little bit, because it's just, I don't know, I feel that the eye's needing it drawn in a little bit more than it currently is, and I don't really want to be using my black pen on this project. I'm not going to get a perfect line, but that's okay. I think that sort of goes with the soft vintage shabby chic look that we've got going on, so I think that is okay. So I'm just going to do that around the whole card. Oops. It's going to be a bit more tricky here. There we go, underneath all that texture. Yeah, I think that already looks a little bit better. I've got a pen. This is a Whispers watercolour pen, but again it's a similar colour tone, so I'm going to do my faux stitching again, but with this pen because it's slightly softer. And again, I don't know, for me, no make is complete without it being properly framed and a little bit of a doodly border. I don't know why. Yeah, and I'm going to just do a couple of little sort of faux zigzaggy stitches, and actually that's similar to where the real one is there, so that works quite good as well. Okay, getting there. I think probably just a couple of white splashes and we will be good to go. It's a while since I normally like craft with quite bright colours, so oops, it's quite nice to do soft vintage for a change. Okay, so we've got that along there, and I think that looks much better. Okay, and then I'll probably put a bit of a zigzaggy element here as well, just so that we've got it mirroring it across here. It looks like it's more meant to be. Okay, I have also just got my Spectrum Noir Sparkle pen, which I am going to give a little sugar, and I'm just going to put that over the rose. Just needing to activate that a bit, get it going. There we go. I'm just going to put that over the rose to give a little bit of sparkle, and the same up here. I'm not sure that that really shows up on camera overly well, but and then let's just sort of splodge it in. Do a few sparkly spots, okay, and then I will just get my white. Okay, just got my white. This is the Spectrum Noir one. There we go. We'll just add a few little drops like that, and then I'm going to turn my project so that, that was almost a spillage there. Okay, and then I'll just get because we get slightly finer splatters if we bash it against bash it against a pen or something. Okie dokie. Okay, so this is my finished card using the gorgeous MDF from the lovely Samantha K. If you have enjoyed it here, please do consider liking and subscribing. If you're on my channel, please do go over and check out Sam's channel. And if you're on Sam's, you might want to pop over and check mine out. Thank you very much for watching and spending your time with me today. I really do appreciate it, and hope to see you again very soon. Okay, take care then, and goodbye.